Good afternoon. I'm Hemant Pandey from ACM India. And although unusual that it may sound, I'm going to start with thank you to everybody who's here, who has helped us to be here. But to say welcome, I'm going to ask Prasad Joshi, my friend, Senior Vice President of Infosys, and somebody whom I talk to, and I have to give him credit for, among other people, to make this happen for us and being the host over here. So, Prasad, please come.
I have a habit of reading Britannica or what happened in the history today, kind of from the past. Luna 9 did a soft landing on Moon on today in 66. 15th Amendment that gave voting rights irrespective of race, caste, creed in America was done today in that year. Massachusetts published paper currency in on the same day in the past. Facebook was launched as facebook.com today. So lots of things have happened. More importantly, we are all gathered here, and this is going to make what is now going to be a past for the first inaugural Pingala interactions in computing, with so many dignitaries around, so many new students around, so many scholars, and the intellectual power. And that's a fantastic occasion that I'll remember for time to come, and it'll definitely become part of my memory, my history, and things that we all came together to make it happen. And I'm hoping many more will come in future. For those of you who don't know who we are or what we do, my name is Prasad Joshi. I lead Infosys's innovation efforts globally. Infosys is a capability company. We in India are fairly well known, but to those of my friends from outside, you may not have heard about us. We are probably one of the low key, best kept, secret kind of companies. But if you flew on a Boeing plane, on an Airbus plane, if you have an insurance policy, if you have a bank account, if you have a phone in your pocket, we didn't make any of them. We made each of them better. That's who we are. We are a capability company, and it's in absolute honor and privilege to learn from what's likely to come as we build the momentum over the next 4 days. And I'm sincerely hoping we'll know more than Gen AI. Thank you, and welcome to Infosys.
Let me now invite Venkatesh Raman, President of ACM India, to say a few words about ACM India and how Pingala comes about, how it connects with ACM India.
Thank you, Hemant. So again, let me start with thanking you all for being here. On behalf of the ACM India Council, it's my great pleasure to welcome you to this inaugural edition of Pingala Interactions in Computing. I think everybody knows about ACM, but I'm not sure how many of you actually know about ACM India. I did a random sample during breakfast time. It was 50-50. So ACM India is a regional council of ACM, started in 2010 by stalwarts like Anand Deshpande, PJN, and several others. So it's in its 14th year now. And I'm sure Yanis will vouch for the fact that it is the most active regional council in the world. There is the China Council, there is the Europe Council, but so I think in the last few years, we have really touched almost every computer scientist in a broad definition of who a computer scientist through our activities. We have all the way from school children. There is a team working on curriculum for computing in schools, CS Pathshala. There's an annual conference on school teachers implementing this curriculum. And then we have summer schools, winter schools for college students. There are a lot of programs for PhD students, PhD clinic, Anveshan Setu. There is a travel grant program. And then there is a number of other programs for researchers, teachers, industry professionals. I don't want to list them all here. You can see from the ACM India website. And next week, we actually have our ACM annual event, where along with some of the keynote talks. I think some of you will be giving the keynote talk there as well. We also have a celebration of achievement in computer science through various awards we have instituted in the last few years. So there is an early career researcher award, there is an outstanding women career researcher award, there is an education researcher award, and a best doctoral dissertation, and so on and so forth. So I hope I'll see most of you there. And this event is also co-located with a two-day event for PhD students called the ARCS, Academic Research and Careers for Students. So with this, I think I welcome you all again. I hope you have an enriching experience next 4 days, and hope to see most of you in Bhubaneswar next week. Thank you.
It's my great pleasure to invite Yanis Ioannidis to come over here, say a few words. And it's my pleasure, but also it's a great relief that he's here. Until, until yesterday, 7 p.m., we did not know whether he was really going to be here. Okay, so he flew from Athens, reached here at 9 o'clock in the morning, and he's here with us. Anyway, so very capable person, as you can see. So, Yanis, thank you very much that you're here. Please tell us a little bit about ACM as well as how ACM sees this initiative, Pingala Interactions on Computing.
It's great that I'm here, but it's just the planes. 7 p.m. My flight could not left Athens yet, so we're not very far. Thank you from me as well to everyone here, all the keynote speakers, all the students, all the organizers, the hosts. Thank you. You did the 50-50. Let me check. How many of you are ACM members? All right. Okay, good. That's the goal. And the few of you, I spotted you that you're not. Make sure you become student members or professional members. ACM is a global organization, certainly in spirit and in its mission. I mean, the first key word in the mission, as you read it on the first line, it says global. But we are not operating as truly global. There is a US centricity, and we are trying to change that, to truly increase the footprint and make it truly global. We are in 195 countries, but that doesn't say the same thing. We don't serve everyone the way everyone needs and the way we want. And as part of my term, I've started an initiative called ACM 4.0, where I am establishing, still present continuous, presidential task forces, one of which is about globalization. How do we do this? And the previous efforts for globalization were the formation of 3 councils: ACM India, ACM China, and ACM Europe. As you can see, there's a lot other worlds that it's not covered in a focused way. I mean, Mother ACM does a bunch of things, but not in a focused way. And yes, I'll confirm and I'll give a shout out to ACM India, because it's by far the most productive, the most active, and definitely, Anand, Jayant, and everyone, please clap yourselves and for ACM India. It is, and ACM India is a pathfinder. Now the Globalization Task Force has started its work, and let's say the default is to form councils in Latin America, in ASEAN countries, in Africa. We'll see how the world will be divided, and this will not be true globalization until we also have a ACM, a US council. US cannot be separated from all the other councils. Mother ACM should be truly global. And the Pingala Interactions in Computing is a great example, a great inspiration of some activity that can bring in truly amazing scientists, researchers from of world caliber, and also world caliber from the region, and bring them together, and you see them all The next 3 days, 2+2 halves, are really exciting. And that's why, despite all the difficulties I had, I really wanted to make it. I'm really glad I'm here. And the Pingala, it was inspired by the Heidelberg Laureate Forum, which is something that was, some of you have been there and given talks. But it is distinct. It's not copy-paste. I mean, the Indian spirit is in it. And I mean, we went back and forth, and it's truly something global and something regional. And that's the beauty of it. And as it picks up this year and continues, in a few years down the road, we'll be saying, okay, on February 3rd, this was the first one. I hope that we'll see how it goes, and then we can teach it to the other councils. And if it matches their needs, because as we said, needs are different around the region, it can happen. So I'm really glad that ACM India exists. I'm really glad that I have a chance to visit you and interact with you, and also interact in the Pingala interactions. I wish you all the next 3 days to be extremely productive and inspiring. And hopefully, in 10 years, we'll be celebrating the 10th anniversary of that. Thank you.
He already captured the spirit of Pingala interactions in computing. And we know it's going to be a historic event moving forward. But I just wanted to give you a historical perspective of PIC. The idea started, I think it was in 2019, PJ and Professor PJ Narayanan mentioned to Manish and me, saying that inspired by HLF, we need to do something in India which is as good, if not better, than HLF and Lindau Nobel laureate meeting and things like that. We just took it up. Everybody's support was obtained, but of course COVID hit. So it couldn't take place, but we were in touch with Infosys. When we started seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, then we said, now is the time to do this. So contacted Prasad, whom I know from my TCS research days in early 1990. And Prasad, other people from Infosys, they were very, very supportive. I think this is some of the one of the first things which is happening at this level on the campus after it opened. So thank you very much. And so things started coming together. We invited people, or those who invited, they were very kind enough to say yes, and you can see the list over here. We formed a steering committee of very, very influential people. We formed the selection committee headed by PK. He will tell us about it a little bit, how we selected people. But we said this has to be a global event. It has to have global laureates, but it has to be 50% at least Indian young researchers and 50% from outside. As it happened, the visibility of Pingala isn't much yet, so we got less participation applications from abroad than we wanted, but we do thank the people who have come from abroad. Okay? And of course, the people who have come from India as well. So you are the future, the young researchers, as we call it, following in the footsteps of these people and also other people that we have. Some of them in the steering committee, some of them are the sponsor delegates, some of them are organizers, but we are all going to be here for 3.5 days. Jeff excused, because the last moment he agreed he was coming to India, and it was nice of you to say yes to coming here. So not much to say, but let me ask PK to tell us about how we decided to create this group of young researchers, select them, and make sure it has a very Indian flavor?
Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks. I think it's a tradition we'll do thanks to everybody, but special thanks to the steering committee for actually asking me to do this. I've been hearing about these ideas from Professor PJ Narayanan before, and others also in the ACM India Council discussions. But when they said that, oh, can you actually help do the selection? I was like, okay, I don't know what to do. We'll start. So I'll give you some details. So we had selection committee, faculty, industry combination, about 25 people. That's what I did. The first job I did after they said that we should look at selecting participants was picking up the selection committee, 25. We had 6 industry selection committee members, 19 from the academia. Each of your application, if you're here, each of your application was seen by at least 3 people. They gave some feedback. We did some round 1, round 2. Some of you must have gotten some emails first, then round 2, and then there was a wait list, and then we went to the third set of people. So that's how we selected. That's the selection committee. Can I get a round of applause for all the selection committee members? They're not here. I don't know, I don't think so anybody other than me is here in the selection committee. Now let's go to the participants. So we had, even though Hemant said that, Hemant and I, we were talking about at some point how many applications we'll get. And PCN and I were talking about, oh, how many applications? Oh, we'll get 300, 400. At some point in time we were discussing, and then we said that, look, realistically, I think first time we'll see how many applications come. I think finally we ended up getting 124 applications. That was the number we got. I think last few days we ended up getting few more. That was very nice. Total number of applications that we selected were 54. 54 of you should be here. Of the 54, there must be 8 of you from international and 46 from India. Of the 54, 45 are from academia, 9 from industry. Distribution of female, 19 male, 35 others, 0. International locations, I think Bangladesh, Nigeria, Sri Lanka, Vietnam. These are the countries that students have come. And of course, Indian locations starting from Bangalore, Bhopal, Bhubaneswar. I think all good applications we had. It was actually difficult because initial thought that we had was, look, we should get diversity first. So we picked institutes first and then said, let's get at least one applicant from one institute first get selected. And then we'll go back and look at other applications. That's how we did that process. This one is not the selection process, but I had to do all of this. So how many of you have social media accounts? Now keep your hands up, keep your hands up. How many of you have already posted about this event on social media? Posted a picture, something. Oh, very nice. Please post, please tag ACM India. Please tag others in the room. You can easily find people who raise the hand now. It's easy to find them on social, so you should tag them. Definitely tag me, right? I'm happy to share, like, comment, or whatever about the post is. Okay, good. Thank you for the opportunity. I think let's enjoy the next 72 hours. Technical, non-technical, I think this is fantastic to see all of you. Thank you.
But I just want to say one thing, is that Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, our ex-president, very well-known scientist, he said, dreams are not the ones which you see in your sleep. Dreams are the ones which keep you awake. Honestly, to make this happen, we've been losing sleep. So yes, so the dream has come true, okay? And it's our job now to really make this a huge success. So thank you again. And now I'll take this opportunity to invite Manish to host the first formal session. Manish, again, Manish doesn't need introduction. He is the Director of Google Research India, ACM Fellow, recipient of multiple awards, including US Presidential Award for the contributions for computing. So we're very pleased to have you. And thank you also for bringing Jeff.
So thanks, Hemant, and thanks to all the organizers. Thanks, PJN, for incubating this idea. So it's my real distinct pleasure and honor to introduce our inaugural speaker, Dr. Jeff Dean. So Jeff is the chief scientist for Google, and he leads these teams across Google DeepMind, Google Research. He's a chief architect, co-architect for the Gemini models being built at Google Research. Jeff is very well known for like a whole bunch of very, very foundational both technology and product contributions that made Google what it is. So all of these now, like people like me, mere mortals like me, right, who have now joined. But Jeff is what made Google what it is. He developed things like Spanner, Bigtable, MapReduce, TensorFlow, and now, of course, Gemini, and many more. Yeah, he's written a few papers. Normally, you don't even see any mention of his papers and so on in his bio. But yeah, he has, just checked Google Scholar, he has some 280,000 citations, H-index of 96. He's received a few honors. He's, of course, received the ACM Computing Prize. He's here as a laureate. He's received the IEEE John von Neumann Medal, Mark Weiser Award. He's a member of the US National Academy of Sciences, American Academy of Arts and Sciences. He's, of course, an ACM fellow. So Jeff has also inspired a whole bunch of memes and jokes, no fewer than the Rajnikant jokes, right? That those of you who have grown up in India, certainly the southern part of India, for every Rajnikant joke, I can assure you, I can find you a Jeff Dean joke from one of our engineers. Like one of them being, I remember one joke about, which talked about like speed of light, right? Something about Rajnikant being traveling faster than speed of light. So there was this joke about, I mean, actually, these are the known list of facts about Jeff Dean, that one day Jeff Dean had to invent asynchronous APIs because the function he had just finished optimizing, it returned before you could invoke it. So, and constant time, in fact, we were in reviews, project reviews with Jeff, and he was telling us how he was optimizing all of these functions. He was all animated, telling us about all those tricks. And there's a legend that Jeff wasn't happy with an order constant time algorithm. So he invented an algorithm that was order 1 upon n. So for all you theory guys. And of course, if I have not done justice to his accomplishments, I have a very good reason. There's a joke for meme for that as well, that Jeff's resume only lists things he hasn't done because it's shorter that way. So I hope, so instead of spending all of that time kind of talking about his accomplishments, let me just invite Jeff to deliver his inaugural lecture.